When we created this channel, we did so because the schools of our nation do not go far enough in teaching financial literacy. Today, we are going to discuss the most important subject to comprehend when it comes to finances. You ever wonder what motivates a bank to lend billions of dollars annually? Why the bank has no problem handing out 30-year loans for homes? Or why a credit card company will let anyone have a revolving line of credit? Even car loans are now being stretched out to 7 years. The answer is the most powerful force in all of finance: compound interest. Compound interest may start small, but can turn into a rolling avalanche over time. Compound interest is why that so-called affordable payment can have you paying more than double the loan amount back over time. If you master the idea of compound interest, then you can truly begin to master your personal finances in order to remain in the black.
What's up, everybody? I'm happy to bring you some exciting new information about compound interest and its wealth building potential. Now, compound interest is what Albert Einstein once described as the eighth wonder of the world and mankind's greatest invention. Now, simply put, compound interest is the interest an investor earns on his original investment, plus all the interest earned on the interest that's accumulated over time. Pretty much all that's trying to say is interest on your interest, okay? Plus your principal amount. Versus simple interest, just gonna be interest off strictly your principal amount, okay? And we're gonna go through a couple examples to kind of help break this down and you can get the idea of it conceptually. Here we go. For the first example, let's say we have two investors, Bob and Susan. Both of them want to look for a way to grow their money. So they decide to put their money in a high yields interest saving account at their local bank. Bob's bank is offering him a 3-year term, so 3 years the money's going to sit in the bank. And it's also saying that his money will accrue 5% simple interest over the course of that time, compounded annually. His original investment amount is going to be $10,000. Now, at the end of year one, Bob will get $500 in interest off his original $10,000 principal amount. At the end of year two, Bob will yet again get another $500 interest off his original principal amount. And you guessed it, in year three, Bob will get $500 interest off his original $10,000 amount he invested into the bank. Now, for the grand total after 3 years is going to be $1,500 in interest plus his original principal balance. Now Bob can walk away with $11,500. Not bad. Now Susan, she's a little bit more savvy than Bob. She decides that she wants to make sure that her investment account is going to be compound interest. Now what that means is she's going to get interest not only off the principal amount she invests, but also interest off the interest her investment is making. Similar to Bob, Susan is going to get $500 interest on year one off her original invested amount of $10,000. But here's the interesting thing that happens in year two. In year two, Susan is not only going to get interest off her principal amount, but she's also going to get interest off the interest that she got from year one. What does that mean? Now, Susan, instead of getting $500 in interest for year two, she gets $525. In year three, now Susan's going to be able to get interest not only off her year one interest, but also her year two interest and her original investment amount, which is going to leave her with an interest amount of $551.25 for year three. That brings Susan's grand total to $1,576.25 for her total amount that she has gained over her time of investing in that bank with compound interest. Now that's a big difference of $76.25. Now I know what you're thinking. It's like, Mike, $76.25 is not that big of a deal. Why are you teaching me this? $76 is that's not a big deal for the hype of this compound interest thing. But here's the funny thing about compound interest. It gains momentum and gets more powerful over time. So let's run through this scenario again, but slightly tweak the parameters so you can see how powerful compound interest can be. Okay, now in this example, both Susan and Bob decide that they're going to let their money sit a little while longer. And in this example, let's up the interest rate to about 10%, which is around what you'll average what you're going to get in the stock market today. Okay, so let's say that Bob leaves his $10,000 in the bank, gaining 10%, and we'll stretch the term out to 25 years. So at the end of 25 years, Bob's going to walk away with a total amount of $35,000 with principal and interest, which is not bad. It's pretty good money. $10,000, $35,000. I don't think anybody will complain about that. But let's see what Susan does. Now, Susan, once again being the savvy investor that she is, decides to make sure that her account is compound interest. Same $10,000, same term of 25 years, same 10% compounded annually. Now let's see how much Susan makes at the end of 25 years. You did the math, you got it? I don't blame you. All right, it's $108,347.06. Now that is a big difference from $35,000. Now you are starting to see the power of compound interest and why it's an important financial tool to get you on your way to financial independence. Compound interest is one of my favorite ways to start generating wealth and building wealth over the long term. It is a way to really utilize tools available to pretty much anybody at this point to take a little bit of money and turn it into a lot of bit of money. And this is a concept of investing that really has not been told or explained to people of color or minorities or really a lot of people if you don't come from the right social and economic class. And we're glad to bring you here that today. So us here at In the Black want to make sure that we use tools and techniques like this to really start building that generational wealth. And we're glad to start bringing you a series where we're going to talk about how we can use compound interest in investments that you can start doing today. And once you start using this tool, you can get on the path to financial freedom and get on the path to generational wealth for not only you, but also your family.
Thank you, Mike, for that excellent breakdown. The key takeaway we want to give you all when it comes to compound interest is that this allows you to take a little bit of money to a lot of money over the course of years. So this is not something that's going to help you get rich quick, but it will help you build wealth over time. The sooner you get started dealing with compound interest, when you're dealing with your investments or your savings or your bonds or whatever method you're using to generate that interest, the sooner you get started, the better. Over the long haul, it will benefit you greatly. And the biggest benefits are realized years down the line than they are initially. That's the key here. So the sooner you get started, the better it is for you, especially if you want to have money in preparation. This is huge for retirement accounts, money in preparation for the end of your working career. Building money and getting rates of return of 8% are excellent, and you can do that very achievably when it comes to your investments. We want to thank you guys for bearing with us. We know this was a lot of information we threw at you guys today, but it's critical that you understand this for our future videos as we prepare to discuss other issues. You got to understand the benefit of compounding your interest annually, and it's good to understand when you're trying to break down whether or not an auto loan is worth it and what those interest rates will really do to you when it comes to making those payments over time. Please continue to like, subscribe, and comment for any future videos you'd like to see and how you felt about today's video.